nothing left of our house. The memories of the smoke and flames, thank God we all made it out. We lost nearly everything, those pictures we can't get back. Granddad's piano's just a pile of wire and black. I remember those firemen, they did everything they could. The road was lined with helping hands from across our neighborhood.
Well, I'm standing in the sunlight in a public park in Tennessee, and I know the soft earth below has always made room for me. She's been carrying my weight for 20 some odd years, and what have I given in return? I have lived in apartment buildings soaring high above the ground. I've seen clear water flow out from my tap somehow. But now here I am, just taking my time and taking a walk in the light, when something blocks the sun ahead. I thought it was a mountain, but it was just a pile of sand, towering so high, a 9 to 5 creation. And we tried to fit that fire in our hands, but what we build up as mountains are just piles of sand. Now this old river path, it ain't quite what it used to be. There's a job site on my right and a prison across the street. But through 4 rounds of barbed wire, I still see it clear as air. No matter what we build around it, this river ain't going nowhere. I thought it was a mountain, but it was just a pile of sand, towering so high, a 9 to 5 creation. And we tried to fit that fire in our hands, but when we build up as mountains are just piles of sand. Empires fall, civilizations fade from view. I see it in the Sphinx missing nose and in cracked Roman statues. If I could wake them up and ask what they believed, I wonder if they'd smile and say, yeah, we know what you mean. We thought it was a mountain, but it was just a pile of sand, one on top of the other through 1,000 generations. We tried as it slips right through our hands. We keep climbing to the highest peak just to slide back down again. 'Cause when we build up as mountains, when we build up as mountains, when we build up as mountains are just piles of sand.
Sam Robbins, welcome to the Songwriters from Here and Away. And I met you, I guess, during the pandemic when we were online, and I connected up with the Regional Midwest Songwriters Folk Alliance people. You're in New Hampshire. Is that where you live
So
now?
I live actually in Connecticut now. I lived in Nashville like I guess like 2 years ago now. I moved to Connecticut, but I'm from New Hampshire originally.
Right.
And then I went to Berklee, and then I went to Nashville for 5 years, and now I moved back to New England.
I know very little about your state, just like you know very little.
I know
about
very
my
little
province.
about this state also. So
Yeah. So you tour mostly in the east. Do you have a radius of outside of Connecticut where you're touring? Because I see you playing a lot. And
yeah, part of the reason I went to Nashville and I wanted to be there was to get a wider perspective on touring, and I really wanted to be a touring musician, but I didn't know how to do that. You know what I mean? I didn't really know what that meant to be a touring musician. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you grew up in New Hampshire, and I went to music school and everything, but I still didn't really know. Like, okay, do you become a celebrity? Okay, you get famous, you get a hit song, and then what? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
where are the venues? And so I went to Nashville because that's where you go. And you know, I started to discover like watching friends of mine. I mean, it wasn't. There's a lot we could say about living in Nashville, but I started to kind of watch people I admired and meet them and stuff, and I found that they were playing in the Northeast a lot, of the Mid-Atlantic, you know, up to the up to, you know, DC to Maine,
right,
to Nova Scotia.
Right.
But they were playing there a lot, and my family is in New Hampshire, my wife's family is in Connecticut. It was like, well, maybe we can move back here, kind of, and just have, you know, rather than go be living in Tennessee and you know, driving 3 hours to get anywhere. It's, you know, you can play 4 shows in Massachusetts, but I can still fly to Tennessee and play. I can still fly to Chicago. I can still fly, you know, that kind of stuff. And so I'm still doing that, but you know, there are a lot of more people up here.
Yeah, it's the density of the whole thing is good for having little gigs, small, medium, large, right?
Yeah, no, it's really it's a nice. So far, I'm enjoying it, I have to say.
Good. Yeah. So your time in Nashville, I know a lot of people go there to record. A lot of people from Nova Scotia go to Nashville at times to write. I've got friends there, writers and whatever. What's your take for being in Nashville and for songwriters? Like, would you recommend people go there, or what's your take on that?
I mean, I got there at kind of a weird time. So I moved there like 6 months before COVID. So I had like 6 months of somewhat normalcy. And I went to Berklee as a songwriting major.
Right.
Which is unbelievable. And, you know, you're sort of trained to do pop music. And I'm not saying this in like a bad way, but you learn what makes pop music work.
Right.
And I mean, you learn other styles too, obviously, and
sure,
that's great. But I kind of was gearing myself up to be like a country songwriter.
Okay.
You know, which is a very kind of defined path, and in my mind it was, anyways.
Sure.
And so you go to Nashville, and I think for me, I mean, I can't really speak for anybody else. For me, it quickly became apparent that I was not the guy to be writing country songs.
Right.
It would like, right, you know, I tried the co-writing every day. That's kind of the thing there, is you go there and you try to co-write with everybody you can, and you play all around the city, and you meet people, and you know, you maybe
find your tribe of co-writers and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think I never quite got there with, because I was only there for 6 months before COVID, so I never quite got there with like finding the collaborators. But ultimately, like 6 months in, really, I mean, it was kind of good timing, which is terrible to say, but 6 months in, it became, I was just so miserable. I was writing so much and playing so much, and I started to realize that it was kind of impossible to find an audience in Nashville, if that makes sense. Like, playing in Nashville is really more about networking, I think, kind of.
Right. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, and so it became kind of frustrating. Like, I wanted to play for, like, real normal people. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
rather than just play for the same friends over and over again. And I got to do some like cool shows. I did the Bluebird Cafe a few times, and I did, I really did some cool stuff, and it was great. But
I see you doing house concerts and intimate venues and cafe type rooms and larger rooms, 50 to 200 seats, whatever it is that you're doing. It's a different vibe there, right?
Yeah.
And doing those kind of concert style things rather than the song circles and the rounds and the open mic type stuff. It's a different thing than actually doing a show for people that are sitting 5 feet from you.
Yeah. Well, it's so funny because I remember I was so frustrated. It was February 2020, and I was so frustrated. I had this whole plan for myself of what I was going to do. I was going to go be a country songwriter and try to make it in Nashville. And it was just going badly. Like I was writing a lot, and like I said, I played the Bluebird, but I just really was kind of miserable. And there was an artist I admired that I went to go see, Liz Longley, who's great. And I just reached out to her. I said, would you like get together with me and like just give me some advice on how you did this? And she said, play house concerts. Go play a house concert. I was like, what is a house concert?
Right.
I've never heard of that before. And so I did, she explained to me what it was. I thought, what? What do you mean? Like, what are you talking about? And she told me about this website, Listening Room Network and undiscoveredmusic.net. And I went, and that day I made a profile on these websites. And a few months later, I finally got my first gig. It was an outdoor house concert in Illinois. Right. And I remember I went, and it was my first time ever experiencing something like this, and I did an absolutely horrible job. I just was so bad for it,
right?
Because you get there, and I realized I was so used to trying to get people to pay attention to me that I didn't know what to do when I had their attention already.
Right.
If that makes sense. So
I totally get it. Yeah.
I really realized I had maybe 3 songs that really worked beyond pay attention to me, pay attention to me, pay attention to me.
Right.
3 or 4. Let's say 5. But like, you know what I mean? Like I had only a few songs that worked beyond just listen to me, listen to me, listen to me.
Right.
And it was just this like, what is the term? Watershed moment? I don't know what it is.
Sure.
I remember at that show, someone said to me, have you ever heard of an artist named David Wilcox? And I said, no. And she said, you should listen to him. And I had like a 6-hour drive with my tail between my legs, just absolutely embarrassed at how badly I had done. And I listened to him, and it totally blew my mind. And I went, and I just got home, and I put my guitar in a weird tuning, and I wrote like 10 weird songs. Some of which I still play, but right. Yeah, that first show, it was such a insane
real eye opener, eh?
Yeah, really, a real eye opener.
Well, I'm sailing smooth highway under soft suburb lights, wearing Applebee's overseas every corner, and the Hooters parking lots are all shining so bright, fluorescent perfection, corporate order. A McDonald's drive-thru, a long Starbucks line, a million parking spaces, a billion separate lives. No, I'm not complaining. I'm just looking for the real thing. I'm looking for the real thing. I'm looking for the time-tested, well-rested reason. I'm looking for the real thing. I'm looking for the real thing. I'm looking for the earth-shaking foundation feeling. I'm looking for the real thing. I took a silver elevator, I soared 15 floors up, but Didn't feel much like flying. Towering daggers scraping the sky. Builders race towards heaven. I wonder what they'll find. I'm just looking for the real thing. I'm looking for the real thing. I'm looking for the time-tested, well-rested reason. I'm looking for the real thing. I'm looking for the real thing. I'm looking for the earth-shaking, foundation feeling. I'm looking for the real thing. Looking for the time-tested, well-rested, invested, digested, manifested, star-destined feeling. I'm looking for the real thing.
Lately, I see a lot of house concerts.
It was an eye-opener in the sense that I was like, oh, I want to do that. Whatever that is, you know,
Right.
and see how far I can go in that world.
Right.
Because, you know, I think it incentivized in a way that I hadn't experienced at school and I hadn't experienced in Nashville and I really hadn't experienced in any aspect of my musical life. It really incentivized being good, if that makes sense, like working on your songs, working on your musicality. And it felt like, you know, the other pieces, you got to have a website, you got to have all that stuff in place, you got to have, you know, a video.
The business stuff,
You got to have that in place, but it felt like if I showed up and I wrote a better song than I had written before, I would be able to do better. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then I sort of discovered the Focal Alliance thing, and
Yeah. Well, I was going to say the immediacy of that audience being in your face, kind of, and getting the immediate feedback is the stuff that you need to be able to grow better songs, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't know how a song is going to land until you're up close and personal. When you're in a big open area and you're trying, like you say, you're trying to get people to listen, you don't know whether the song is working. It's very difficult, right?
Yes. I've actually been in this interesting thing the past, like, 2 weeks or so. There's a song I wrote when I was 16 or 17. It was one of the first songs I ever wrote. And it was the first time I ever felt this, like I touched this inspiration place. You know, these words kind of just were flowing from me, and it was about being home and New Hampshire, and I really like a lot of aspects of the song. And I decided I want to try to kind of rework it, like with today's lens, you know, like, or just, you know, I was 16.
Right.
It was one of my first songs I ever wrote. So there are things that need to be edited. And it's
Give it a
interesting.
rewrite.
In revisiting it, there are aspects, I don't know how to describe this. Like, there are aspects of it where it's less immediate, if that makes sense. Like when I play that version of it, there's less that's grabbing the audience, if that makes sense. Like it was made in with kind of more of a pop, big room sensibility, which is not bad.
Right.
But it's been kind of interesting revisiting it. You know, like that was all I really knew. You know, I didn't grow up with parents who were musicians. I knew pop stars and I didn't really know this whole kind of middle of musicians out there. It was like, you know, you're either John Mayer and James Taylor or you're like, you know,
The
struggling
weekend rock star or whatever.
Yeah, you know, that was kind of what I knew. So those were the songs. It's been kind of an interesting experience rewriting that song.
Big hearts, small towns, still the best place I
the challenge of becoming a working, self-supporting artist, it takes a huge amount of work, especially these days, it seems. If you don't have a decent show in a house concert, that translates really well when you get to larger stages too, because if you can hold that audience, then you've learned something about what makes a person listen to you. And if you can get a group of people like that to listen to you, when you get to a larger rooms, you have a better chance of being able to hold their attention too, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Like it's all educating yourself on what works and how to hold a show together, right?
Yeah.
You become a storyteller. You become an entertainer. You become partly a comedian sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, you have to look at all these aspects to be able to pull people into your world and say, this is me. This is my song, right? Because you're sharing something very deeply personal. It's a great way to learn your craft. It's very visceral when someone is laughing at something or crying at something or engaging and singing along with you. You know that you've got them and you know that it worked, right?
Yes, totally. And you can feel it. Like, I mean, they're 5 feet away from you. When you're in a setting like that, you know, it's a conversation. The show, you know what I mean? Like, I think before when I wasn't doing that, I didn't understand. Like, it feels like, okay, you get on stage and you're kind of just expelling
all one way.
Yes, it's all one way.
Yeah.
And what I've realized now, and it's made it so much better for me. I think it's made the performances better, but also just like for me personally, it's like, no, I'm kind of like, this is like a two-way thing. This is a loop that we're doing together. And that's what makes it fun for everybody. If you, and I see people do that sometimes, and I'm sure it works in some settings. But I feel grateful kind of that I started. I mean, I've played house concerts to like 3 people, you know, like, it's literally a conversation.
It's gonna be a long road when we look at where we started. One nation broken hearted, always running from itself. It's gonna be a high climb as our snowy steps get deeper on the mountain of redeemers in silk suits on TV screens. 'Cause I've seen the lights shine through closed windows, down dirt roads in Kentucky, and under New York City moons too. I don't care who, but I'm gonna reach out to you. I'm gonna reach out to you. Show 'em what a little love can do. Show 'em what a little love can do. Well, the sun is going down beyond the beach in California, and another congressman is forming another well-thought-out speech. But the moon has risen high above the dark and silent East Coast, and I know that love means most when it's right in front of me. Oh, but I look around and I can't find it in the papers. I don't see it on my screen, but I see it in you. I don't care who, but I'm gonna reach out to you. I'm gonna reach out to you. Show 'em what a little love can do. Show 'em what a little love can do. I'm gonna reach out to you. I'm gonna reach out to you. Show 'em what a little love can do. Show 'em what a little love can do. Something bigger than me. I wanna believe in the older I get, the more I see whatever world I want to live in begins with me. So I'm gonna reach out to you. I'm gonna reach out to you. Show 'em what a little love can do. Show 'em what a little love can do. I'm gonna reach out to you. I'm gonna reach out to you. Show 'em what a little love can do. Show 'em what a little love can do. Show 'em what a little love can do. Show 'em what a little love can do.
It's nice to come at a venue show if there's like 100 people there with that mentality, like what you're saying, even though it has to change a little bit and you have to be like a little wider, obviously, but
Right.
because I think there is a size of audience where you kind of lose it, but I don't know, I'm not there yet. But.
Sure. Yeah. Well, and it's the bubble that you encompass has to get larger, right? That that sphere of influence that you radiate needs to keep growing.
Interesting. Yeah. That's an interesting way of putting it. Yeah.
You mentioned going to Berklee. I've I know a lot of people who've gone to Berklee, and so you went through the whole 4-year program, and what was Pat Pattison there?
Yeah.
One of yours? Yeah. That's I recommend that to anybody who can go.
Like the Pat guidance, like that kind of stuff, the songwriting, the physical, not physical, but the real material guidance of songwriting is invaluable now, because so much of songwriting is just kind of a feel thing, like, oh, does this feel good? But every once in a while it's nice to be able to kind of break out the toolbox a little bit, like this song I'm reworking that I wrote when I was 16. There's some aspect of it that isn't working, like there's some part of it musically that just doesn't work and has never quite worked. Right. And now I know why. When I was 16, I didn't know why. Right. So it's kind of interesting to as part of the songwriting workshops that I do, we could really get in the weeds of this, but I have this whole thing about like offsetting your songs, I call it. And it's just a toolbox thing of like how to keep the audience engaged in your song in a subtle way that I think a lot of songwriters, it's easy to get stuck in the same tropes kind of over and over and over again. And I do it. Everyone does it. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the stuff I learned at Berklee, I think some of the like business aspects of it were like a little bit outdated, honestly. Right. But just, the music industry is changing so fast, and even if there is a music industry anymore, I think it's kind of become something different. But a lot of those toolbox, I think about like learning these little voicings up the neck, these really kind of really simple. Like, people ask me all the time, like, are you playing in open tunings? Is that how you write in open tunings? And at this point, I, never write in open tunings because I'm just really using these voicings I learned while I was at Berklee, honestly. Right. And then just altering them slightly, playing a D instead of D, playing a D like this. Yeah. And then letting the strings ring and then maybe moving one string. So instead of, it's... Yeah. Stuff like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just interesting.
Yeah, the tools are great for helping you restructure stuff. I mean, I've always embraced learning all the different styles of writing, and like you say, they're tools, but that doesn't help you create a good song, right? You need the inspiration. You need something to start
That's interesting.
the
That's
process,
interesting.
right? And putting and getting into the tools of it too soon can slow you down. Right?
Interesting. That's it.
Right.
Yeah. Well, you know, there's a song of mine I use in one of the little workshops I do that I had this great melody, and it was such like an inspired moment like that. Like it was like, oh my God, it just sort of like appeared from the air. You know, it was this great da do da da do da da do da. I love that melody. It just like came out of the air, you know, and I ended up writing this part to it. I didn't want to look too hard. I didn't want to see too far. I didn't want to know who you are. I didn't want to like it. And I just thought that was so cool. I was like, man, and I wrote this whole chorus that my voice is not at 100%. I didn't want to look too hard. I didn't want to see too far. I didn't want to know who you are. I didn't want to like it. I didn't want to say your name, standing on your fire escape, watching all the good stars fade, like the ghosts behind me. So it was like, oh my God, this like spark of inspiration, really. I mean, that's how it felt. But then after that, I had that, and I was like, oh my God, what the hell do I do now? You know, like I have this great melody, and I'm in this chorus, and I'm like, oh God. So I went through all these verses, and I ended up coming up with this part that I told myself not to fall in love, and I haven't yet. So it's in E. So the song is in the key of E. And so I, you know, what did I do? I chose a chord in the key of E. I'm still so young, there are so many people I just haven't met. I didn't want to look too hard, and it was okay. Like I liked the lyrics, but then it was this toolbox thing could come out where, okay, the song is in the key of E. Maybe something about it isn't working. When I told myself not to fall in love, and I haven't yet. I'm still so young, there are so many people I just haven't met. I didn't want to look too hard, I didn't want to see too... And once we got to the second verse, it got kind of boring to the ear.
Right.
And I was like, what is this? So I went into that toolbox and I tried, okay, what if I don't hit the E chord, which is like the home chord in the key of E, until the chorus?
Right.
You know, so instead of starting on the E in the verse, like you would normally do, as long as in the key of E, I'm going to start with an E chord. I tried, what if I start with A? Told myself not to fall in love, and I haven't yet. You know, just literally just playing around, and I had to like break my brain to do it, you know, C sharp minor. Told myself not to fall in love, and I haven't yet. And then I eventually find, what if I start on the 5 chord on the beat, and I don't go to that 1 chord until the chorus. So when it gets to the chorus, it's like you're like jumping in a hot tub, you know?
Right.
You finally know, because I'm singing these notes that are in the key of E over
the chords
that are not in the key of E, you know? So your brain is kind of searching. I
Mm.
told myself not to fall in love, and I haven't yet. Instead of resolving down, still so young, there are so many people I just haven't met. I didn't want to look too hard, I didn't want to see too far. I didn't want to know who you are, I didn't want to like it. I didn't want to say your name, standing on your fire escape, watching all the good stars fade, like the ghosts behind me. The temptation is good to go to the E to end this chorus, but I went to the 5, backed out. I told myself she's nothing new, just a pretty girl. You know what I mean? So you're kind of keeping the audience out of the loop, you know, and it's become a journey of mine to figure out songs that do this, because I've started to realize a lot of great songs, you know, took my love and I took it down.
Yeah, they don't resolve. They're not. They don't. they play around the resolution
Yeah,
sometimes,
exactly.
but they don't
like
resolve.
Landslide.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to play that song because you're singing in the key of G, but you're only playing C chords until the chorus. So then
Right.
when she goes to the chorus, it's like, oh my God, it's so nice. Took my love and I took it down.
Yeah.
Will I be afraid you finally are home?
Yeah.
Change it,
Yeah.
and it's just kind of a fascinating study for me.
People gonna talk at you like crazy. People gonna tell you where you're wrong. People gonna sit back and whisper from the wings and swear you'll learn your lesson later on. Right now you are just a small town seed. There's no telling which way you'll grow. But that won't stop them from speaking in your sunshine. You gotta learn how to listen and then how to let go. Because one day they're all gonna say how free you seem watching you live your dream. And there ain't no race to watch it all fall in place. Just cut out the noise, let them hear your voice. Cause you know it's the truth. Keep on shining through, and one day people gonna talk about you. People gonna talk themselves in circles, busy trying to remember. Cause you got a fire that's still blazing bright, and they can only feel the bite of their burning embers. But it's no one's fault how they turned out. Not a tree still spread out strong. And you are here for a reason, through untold generations who have learned how to listen and then just held on. Because one day they're all gonna say how free you seem watching you live your dream. Watch it all fall in place. Just cut out the noise, let them hear your voice. Cause you know it's the truth. Keep on shining through, and one day people gonna talk about you. They're gonna talk about you. Just one page ripped out from the binding. It's just one line in someone else's song. It's just a drop in a big wide ocean. The waves are high, but the wind's just right. I think it's your time to sail on. Cause you know what to do. Keep on shining through, and one day people gonna talk about you.
The smoke and flames, thank God we all made it out. We lost nearly everything, those pictures we can't get back. Granddad's piano's just a pile of wire and black. I
wide open August road, red leaves starting to fall, young sunlight, old oak trees, and you and me, we're a part of it all. These wheels, they keep turning faster, pulling us apart just when the stars come out. But while one hand's holding steady down this dusty highway, the other's always holding yours somehow. How many more adventures, how many more Septembers, how many circles around the sun, how many little moments watching the river flow before our last ship finally comes. I can't steer where the years will run, but from here on out I'm gonna live them in love. Yeah, from here on out I'm gonna live them in love. You and me, we've been taking the long way, added a couple years to the GPS. But through the trees, we've seen the right and wrong ways. Now that north wind is right behind us, it's lifting us up. How many more adventures, how many more Septembers, how many circles around the sun, how many little moments watching the river flow before our last ship finally comes. I can't steer where the years will run, but from here on out I'm gonna live them in love. Yeah, from here on out I'm gonna live them in love. 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 How many more adventures, how many more Septembers, how many circles around the sun, how many little moments watching a river flow before our last ship finally comes. I can't steer where the years will run, but from here on out I'm gonna live them in love. Yeah, from here on out I'm gonna live them in love.
On my new album, I have a song that was written basically completely to test that idea. It was just basically written as an exercise where I do not play the one chord until the end of the first chorus. So
Right.
like a minute into the song. And the first time I did it, it was at a house concert actually. And it it went to resolve at the end of the chorus. People gonna talk about you. And
Right.
people clapped. Because they would, you know what I mean? Like it was just, like it was in the middle of the song.
Thank God he finally played the chord my brain needed to hear, right?
Yes, and every time I do this song, people go,
Yeah.
or they
Yeah.
clap. You know, it's really kind of fascinating. Even though like there's nothing about the lyric that would really make them clap. It's just purely the what you just said. It's so interesting.
Yeah, no, that's great. So do you do much co-writing now? You said
Honestly,
you talked about that being in Nashville and all the co-writing, and of course that's a thing that gets done there. How did you find it, and do you do much of that now?
I don't know. I don't do a lot of it now. I actually, it's actually funny. David Wilcox, the guy I mentioned earlier, I got to meet him like a year or so after that. And at one of his shows, I went to see him, and we talked for a little while, and he said, let's write a song together. I said, okay. And so I went to his house, and we wrote this weird song that ended up being the first single on his album that came out in April. And we wrote 2 songs together that are both on the album.
Stranded out in the parking lot, locked out of my car. The big storm of the century is right where we are, where we are. I can cut off the car alarm. There's a lock I can't free. There's a gap in the firewall, skeleton key for me. I can cut into my own wires. I can strip off the insulation. I can alter the way the neurons fire. It's mine, it's mine. I can hack the alarm in my own mind. My own mind. The shining city is sinking fast in the ocean of fear. Waves rising to cover us. There's no staying here, staying here. When emotions are flooding me, there's a trick that I've found. I'm not getting swept away. There's higher ground, higher ground. I can cut into my own wires. I can strip off the insulation. I can alter the way the neurons fire. It's mine, it's mine. I can hack the alarm in my own mind. My own mind. It's mine. Oh, it's mine, yeah, yeah. It's the stories I tell myself. It's the way the picture's framed. Nothing else is different now, but everything has changed. I can cut into my own wires. I can strip off the insulation. I can alter the way the neurons fire.
So it's cool. I mean, I think for my music that I release, I don't know. I just haven't found it quite to click for my music that I release. Like people helping me with the songs and that being a co-write, but kind of like fully starting together, like in the Nashville style. When I look at those songs, they just don't feel quite right as compared to the other songs. So
Right.
I think I like songs that are kind of like there's a weirdness to them in a way, like not like it's weird, like experimental jazz weird, but
Just a uniqueness to some aspect of the song.
yeah, like a uniqueness,
unique take on something or whatever.
or
right?
just like if you're policing yourself too much. I think this is a danger of Nashville and of going to college for songwriting,
Right.
and in general, just overanalyzing your songwriting. You can over police yourself to the point that it becomes like you're reading an encyclopedia or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's like everything is so clear. Like I have to break that for myself. I just was writing a song recently that it's not completely clear what the chorus is saying. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. But I'm like, you know what? Listen to the biggest songs. They're not all completely
It's
clear.
okay.
It's
You
fine.
can
to
let
have it
people
be
make
kind
up
of-
their own version
Yeah.
of it, right? Yeah.
I think sometimes it's easy to get stuck in this loop of oh my God, it's not, everything isn't perfectly, oh God, oh no, and it's kind of cool to have something be sort of out,
Right, yeah.
And it's hard to do that for me in a co-writing setting. But
Yeah, and that's part of my thing for about not bringing the tools into the room.
yeah,
quick,
that's a good way
right?
of putting that.
Leave the tools out and just do the sketching and stuff and get your ideas down and then build the thing. And when you've hit a wall that you can't make it any better, that's when you dig out the tools, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Or you just don't know where to go with it, Yeah.
Well, that song that I just played, I didn't want to look too hard. That song, I won the Kerrville New Folk competition with that song, which is a festival in Texas. And that I remember right after I wrote that in college, and right around that time, right after college, I went and I got to be part of this like pop songwriting week, sort of. It was like a retreat. And
Right.
they had, instructors there that had written 10 number one songs for,
Yeah.
Katy Perry, and I played that song for one of them who, she's this very successful songwriter, and she told me that the song made her cringe. She said that the lyrics, some of the lyrics, she pointed them out. She was like, these are just so like weird. Like that's just not, it just made me cringe. And then that song went on to win that competition for me, and I play it all the time now. And I wrote this song about my dad, I remember, around that same time, actually, that it's completely jagged. I mean, there are no tools involved in this song at all. There's no chorus. There's no hook. It's completely weird and insane.
Right.
And I did American Idol when I was in college, right after I wrote this. And I played that song on American Idol. And Katy Perry told me that it put her to sleep, I remember. But it's like one of my most requested songs. Like people really, really, really love the song.
Right.
It's just, one of those things of like, that's a good way of putting it, of not bringing the tools in too early.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, and songs have different places. I mean, maybe that song isn't an American Idol song, right?
Yeah,
because of that audience, right? I
Yes,
mean, I don't
totally.
know, right? Yeah.
No, that's definitely true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to wanna be just like you. I'd fail, and you'd know it too. I bought that wristband of your favorite team. I wore it every day for a year or two. I'd get so confused when those coaches would tell me, boy, you've gotta get mean. I wonder if they said the same to you, and if you ever found out what that really means. And now it's raining sideways, and I'm missing your face. I wonder if you ever felt that way. Almost strangers, different in a million ways. Every day I see how much of you remains. I'll get to living up to you one of these days. Do you remember those hiking boots you bought me back when I was 15? The first and last time that I ever wore them, it was with you on the spine of Tuckerman's Ravine. When I told you I couldn't do it anymore, I wasn't a man like my grandfather. I couldn't fight the Korean War. And you told me that that was alright, that no man grows up to be his father if his father raises him right. I wanna believe that I could be like what's come before me, a faded photo on the wall, a thread running through us all. On the shoulders of 100 men, all I am is pieces of them. All I am is pieces of them.
Are you recording? Are you doing other albums, or how do you feel about albums?
Yeah, I mean, I released an album in April of last year, which was cool, and it sort of feels like my first album in some ways. It kind of feels like we sort of got it right, because I released an album in like 2021, I think it was, that really it was kind of a collection of songs I had written and recorded in college. So it's a little bit, it's interesting, but it's kind of jagged, you know, and it's a little poppy, and it's cool. And then I released an album in 2022 that was very Nashville. Like, we got this Nashville band to do it, and it's weird and strange and cool. But it's kind of jagged, you know. It's weird a little bit. Like, I didn't really know how to make an album. It's just kind of a collection of songs.
Right.
But it's cool in that way. But then this album, I worked with this producer, Seth Gleer. I don't know if you know him. He's a great songwriter and piano player. And, you know, we really produced it. It was, you know, what is this album going to be as an album, not just like the songs you like from the past year.
So that it starts somewhere and has an arc to it and ends somewhere.
Yeah, and the songs, I really edited them, which I hadn't really done that much before, you know. And like, this is something I've been grappling with too, is that the songs that are on the album that people like the recording of are not necessarily the songs that are the best to play live, if that makes sense. Or I never really understood that until this album. It was songs that I love playing live, and I look back at the recordings of them, and I'm like, there's something about it that's kind of weird. I don't know how to describe it, but this album, I tried to really give in to the fact that, okay, I'm trying to make this an album to be listened to, and I can change it live, which I do. I'll play them differently live if I want to. I'll extend parts, I'll do that. But for the album, I want it to be kind of clean. You know, I want it to be, the songs not to be 4.5, 5 minutes long. I can do that live if I want to extend and do a solo or something. I can do that. It doesn't need to be recorded in the recorded version necessarily. So yeah, that's what I'm still kind of worried on that. I'm going to the Folk Alliance conference, and I got nominated for an award there, which is cool, you know. And I'm writing on stuff and working on stuff, but I'm not actively recording. Recording is hard. I don't know. It's like for someone like me that I'm into playing for people. I'm into playing live. Recording feels kind of tedious. You know?
Well, you could always record lots of you could do a live album, I imagine. Have you done that yet?
I do actually have a live album from a house concert in Texas. This was in 2022. They had this great mic, an ear trumpet mic. It's like this omnidirectional mic, kind of, you know, maybe 5 or 6 feet away from me.
Ear
and
trumpet labs, they make great microphones,
yeah. I forgot it was there. And they ended up recording this. It was a great show. It's a great house concert in Fort Worth, Texas. And then I asked him, I was like, do you have the file of that recording? And he sent it to me, and it was just this great capture of the room. And so I was like, all right. So we made like a little house concert live album called Live from a Living Room. It's really cool. It's like 30 tracks, you know, all the talking in between. And I really like it a lot. I think I should redo that.
Yeah. I found that recording songs without playing them live, I've talked about this a few times, but you write a song, and if you just go straight into the studio, you don't know, you haven't had the chance to sing and get underneath it and learn the song and be really in tune with where it goes, because like you said, when you play it live, it often changes, right? Either tempos may pick up or slow down from the recorded version, and you know, you realize there's a word that you were singing live that didn't connect as well as it could have, so you changed it from the recording. You know, I don't know if you've gone through that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and especially I've realized now, you know, you have to sing these songs forever, kind of. If people like them and you want to keep touring, you have to sing the songs forever, so you want to make sure that they breathe in that kind of a way. They're not like, there are some songs that I wish I could go back and edit from the recorded version. I one time I did. I mean, I edit them a little bit, but I remember I cut a whole verse out of one song. This was like maybe 2 years ago. I cut a whole verse out because I was like, oh God, I just don't want to sing that verse anymore. I could have written it so much better. And someone came up to me and went, why'd you sing that song weird? Like, why did you do that? I was like, all right, well, I'm never doing that again, I guess.
Yeah. Well, and I get that. I think that sometimes we, you know, some artists make big changes to their world, you know, to what they present, and change songs. Like, I mean, you listen to Van Morrison or Dylan, and all of a sudden new verses like come out that they hadn't sung before, you know. It's partly training your audience to be ready for something different. I don't know how you do that. I mean, I know that when I play, I often do things differently. It drives my partner when I play with my wife. It drives her nuts when I go somewhere else, you know, because it's that great unknown. You know, here we are surfing, right? But it's interesting to see folks doing just like what you say, you know, cutting out something or changing the lyrics. And if they're pre-recorded songs you recorded and people listen to the album bunch, it's an interesting thing, right? Do you keep them, or do they kind of get annoyed with you?
Well, and I'm kind of because this album, more people have listened to it, I would say, and I'm playing bigger places that I have to kind of think about that more. It's interesting. Like, I have to like think about, like, people have actually like listened to this and like want to hear me play this in a way that I didn't have to before, really, because not as many people were listening to it. So yeah, it's interesting. I mean, something I have fun doing, like on one of the songs I like on the album, I kind of, part of it was an inspiration from those guitar voicings, actually, of this Billy Joel song. Don't go changing.
Right.
And so sometimes, like, in the middle of that song, you know, this is the groove of the song. I really like this one. You know, there's a whole chorus and everything is like this, and then in the middle I'll go, don't go no changing to try and please me. You know, I'll sing it in the middle of my song.
Right.
And I kind of like doing that, especially if there's like some kind of thread of how I got to my song from that song, which was,
Right. Yeah.
you know.
It's partly showing the inspiration or whatever, I guess.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
fun. You know?
Yeah. 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 Cool.
Kind of break out.
So, you've got that. So, what we'll do is I'll get you to upload half a dozen 8 songs,
Okay.
if I can. You know, just high quality MP3s, like
Yeah.
MP3 320s
Okay.
or waves. I'll send you a link, and I'll insert them at various spots throughout the show.
Okay.
Yeah. Are there songs that you're actively you've got recorded? How should I say this? Off your latest album, what's the song that's getting the most awareness for you these days?
There's a song called "What a Little Love Can Do." That
Okay.
one is becoming more relevant, I would say, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want me to talk about it, or were we?
Sure. Well, sure. How did you write that tune? Where did that come from for you?
Well, it's interesting because I actually was just looking at like the day I wrote it. I wrote a few drafts of it. It's interesting, and I found the original recordings from from my phone. You know, the little voice memos, and there was a shooting in Nashville. It was right before we moved from Nashville, and there was a shooting at a Catholic school there. And it was not far from my house. It was like 5 or 10 minutes from the house. And I was home alone all day, and it was just so like terrible. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. It was just awful. And I went and I had one of those kind of inspiration moments, you know. It's gonna be a long road when we look at where we started. One nation broken hearted, always running from itself. It's gonna be a high climb as our snowy steps get deeper on the mountain of redeemers in silk suits on TV screens. I mean, one of the things I do is I write songs with veterans. We can talk about that too.
Right.
And I don't know. There's just so much like hurting out there. It's hard.
Right.
It's hard to comprehend.
So it's a way to let that out of yourself.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
came
you
into
know?
the song.
Yeah, and I remember I wrote this chorus that I thought was so dumb. I just thought it was so dumb, and I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to write a song. The chorus is, I'm going to reach out to you. I'm going to reach out to you. Show 'em what a little love can do. Show 'em what a little love can do. And I was like, oh God, I'm not going to write a song called What a Little Love Can Do, right? So I wrote this whole most of the song, and I took out the chorus, and I tried to write all these other choruses to it, and I just realized, no, that's kind of the chorus. That's kind of the chorus. And you know this feeling. It's when you're like flying on the inspiration, and that happens to me a lot on bridges, like when I get to a bridge, and I remember this is like one of my favorite bridges I've ever written, because it was just such a terrible day. I'm gonna reach out to you. I'm gonna reach out to you. Show 'em what a little love can do. Show 'em what a little love can do. And the idea just came, you know. It's one of my favorite things to sing every night. I wanna believe in something bigger than me. I wanna believe in where this all could lead. But the older I get, the more I see. Whatever world I wanna live in begins with me. And I was like, oh, that's a cool song, and it encapsulated a feeling, and I've just been ending every show with that song now. And
It's
I
a
don't
great
know.
closer, right? It leaves it. It gives everybody something to think about and shares a little bit of that connection, right?
Yeah, and I think it's shaping the performances, because it really feels like, I remember I got back from Europe the first week of November, which is when Trump was elected the second time, and I had shows that week. And there was and there still is a real heaviness of getting in front of people and standing in front of people and talking, and I feel that more than ever now. I feel almost like a responsibility on some level, like obviously in my like very, very tiny way, of being in front of a group of people who maybe don't know each other, especially as I'm playing more venues. If you're playing for like 100 people at a public venue, it's not a house concert where you can kind of get the vibe of everybody in the room. There are people with wildly different experiences, and I always talk about now, I talk about writing with veterans, and I play some of those songs because I'm sort of committed to doing things that crush those barriers at my shows, especially. Like I want to actively find common ground with everybody in the room, and us all being there is common ground. I want to actively build on that rather than talk about the things that divide us, because there are enough people doing that.
Right.
You
had mentioned doing workshops and that kind of stuff. How much of that work have you been doing, songwriting workshops?
Yeah, I've been really enjoying that over the past year or so. Longer than that. I think I got a Patreon about 1.5 years ago, and that's really what's kickstarted it. Because people were asking me so much about songwriting and guitar playing at shows. Like that thing I was saying about the open tuning thing, how many open tunings do you use? And I said, I don't use any open tunings. And they would say, how? And I was like, I don't really have a way to tell you right now, but there are things that I learned. And I feel like that was something about me that I wasn't naturally gifted, if that makes sense. You hear that, naturally gifted. And like, especially you get to Berklee and you realize that you're a talentless hack,
Yeah. There's so much to learn, right?
Oh my God, you're a talentless hack. And so I was certainly not the most talented person around. I'm not now, and certainly wasn't then. And there are just a lot of I've sort of pieced this together in a way that people say to me now, like, oh, you're really good. And I'm like, I guess, yeah, I am, but it's not, and so I realize I can look back and there's this breadcrumb trail of how I got to here that like tonight I'm doing a workshop on strumming, and I was a drummer first. And so, getting into, strumming and rhythm, I have this sense of rhythm from playing drums, but I was a terrible drummer I never really got very good, but there's a sense of rhythm that informs my guitar playing.
Sure. Yeah.
So I had someone ask me recently about, how to do like that song Piles of Sand you were just playing.
Right.
At the end of that, I'll go, and he said, like, how do you do that? I want to do stuff like that.
Right.
And I said, well, man, it's really just, it doesn't feel like I'm playing like licks. It's not, it doesn't feel like I'm playing riffs and stuff like that ever. It feels like it's just an extension of the rhythm.
Right.
It's kind of hard to describe. And so,
getting the facility on the neck is one thing, but the other hand creates that rhythm more for you, right?
Yeah. Your left hand is what you know. Your right hand is who you are. I love that quote.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I love that quote.
Yeah.
But a lot of the song, it's focused on stuff like that, but also on ideas like what Pat said, like how I've incorporated Pat Patterson's stuff into my stuff, and Scarlet Keys, and what I was talking about earlier with that chord thing, the toolboxes of, like, that song. People loved that song. I didn't want to look too hard. People
Yeah.
loved that song in a
Because
way
of the
that
way
I
the
had
melody
never
works around the chords.
Yeah, and it wasn't, there was this kind of divine inspiration of look too hard, see too far, know who are like it. But then I had to very actively use these tools to make it good as a whole.
Make it work, yeah.
And that's how I've written most of my songs. I'm kind of envious of people that can just get up there and do it. I mean, I was writing a song, but you know, it's really simple. It's C, G, D, E minor. Like the whole rhythm is basically this, like the whole song. And once I got into the chorus, it got a little boring.
Right.
You know, you're just hearing, there's something about it that got, so just little, and so I very actively decided I'm going to do something, like before I go into the chorus, I'm going to hang for another 2 beats on the chord, on one of the chords. Just something as simple as that, but you have to actively think about it. Old sky morning, you know, stuff like that,
right.
Just a little bit different. And then maybe for after the chorus, like what literally the whole song was just this loop of C, G, D, E minor. After the chorus, or sorry, for the chorus, instead of changing it like that, what if I just hang on each chord longer? So it's not like you're adding in jazz, like, but just, I don't care if you're a good guy. I don't care if you're a bad guy. You know, just little stuff like that to keep the audience engaged. It's not rocket science. It's not crazy. But stuff like that I focus on a lot, and I don't know, just rhythmic senses of things. I focus on that a lot.
Yeah.
I was booked at a biker bar upstate. It was leather jackets and guns on hips. I whipped in my dad's red Prius. I was stuffed in a corner singing Fire and Rain when a Hell's Angel spun towards me. As he was limping over, I swore I was about to die. Then we talked for 20 minutes about his favorite songs, from Sweet Baby to James. His voice got softer and softer. It's pretty hard to hate someone when they're right in front of you. It's so easy to fall in love when you take the close-up view. When it's not a screen, it's a face, it's a heart to name. It gets pretty hard to hate when you can really see the flame, the fire behind everyone's pain. I was booked at a bright pink bachelorette where they wished I was a stripper. Drunk women barking, won't you play Michael Bublé? I picked his saddest one just to be rude, but much to my surprise, one by one they started slowing down. And for 2 whole hours we sang and laughed as we watched the walls come down. We all followed each other on Instagram. It's pretty hard to hate someone when they're right in front of you. It's so easy to fall in love when you take the close-up view. When it's not a screen, it's a face, it's a heart, it's a name. It's pretty hard to hate when you can really see the flame, the fire behind everyone's pain. I gave Kathy a bag of chips by the side of the road. I saw the scars on her face as she said, did you know that I used to be somebody? No, I used to be somebody. It's pretty hard to hate someone when they start to look like you. It's so easy to fall in love when their face reflects the truth that you can never quite escape. Good luck fighting off the flame. That fire always remains. Ooh, it's all the same thing. Do-do-do-da-da, do-do-do-da-da-da-da-da, do.
October, I did a retreat in Maryland, which was similar to that. It was a little smaller, and there were 3 instructors and like 18 people or something. And
Right, which is
so nice.
basically the same.
Yeah, it's so nice. Like for me, it's just
Yeah.
like the other instructor, this guy Jeff Black. It ranged from people who were like performed a lot, not professionally, but performed a lot, to people that had never written a song before, and everyone had to collaborate.
Yeah.
And it was remote. It was like way down in the middle of nowhere, and that's what they liked in Maryland. And we did a show, where everyone could get up and play their songs. And Jeff Black, he's a great songwriter, and he leaned over to me and went, "This is the best show I've seen in years." It's just like people
Right.
just laying it all. I'm teaching a few of them on my Patreon. Actually, one of them joined last night. But I have a few private lesson students on Patreon, and one of them is
Right.
from that. And she had never written a song before that retreat, and she wrote this just like stunning song about her dad that like she just needed a little help musically with it from this other guy, and
But her words and concepts,
oh my God, it was like
her
so beautiful.
emotion,
I'm
yeah.
teaching her now, and she has so much to
Yeah.
give musically,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh my God, this is so nice,
Yeah.
and helping. I don't know. I just really, yeah.
It's wonderfully rewarding. I mean, doing all this, including these interviews, radio show, podcast stuff, it just costs me money, time and effort, right? But I'm semi-retired, it's so rewarding to see what comes back, like there's from the first, like like some of the stuff I could go on about it, but people have found a new life out of being at the
Yeah.
retreat and realizing that they can write, and they got inspired again, and they've released albums.
Yeah, that's what was at this retreat too.
Yeah, right. So, and I tell you, it's a real community. I mean, there's people there that are connecting and networking now, and
Yeah.
recording albums together, recording songs together, and doing
cool.
it. Like Daryl has come both years and brought a little home studio kind of thing and recorded. Anybody who wants to record a song records a song, and
Oh, wow.
and that kind of stuff. So that's helped build his business, right? And
Yeah.
it's so that's great, right?
Yeah. Well, and I think that
It's
sorry.
rewarding. Yeah. No. Go.
It almost in this with the writing with the veterans feels kind of like the deepest distillation of what I do and what I want to do. You know what I mean? Because the performing is a loop, but ultimately like really getting with people and like really working on songs with them and music with them, it's like, oh my God, yeah, like you said, it's so rewarding. It's so nice to see what can come of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, and to be a part of it in such a deep way versus just performing, because that's what I've realized too, is like I'm performing a lot and it's awesome, honestly. I'm like making a living doing it, it's great. But you know, at a certain point, like it's inspiring for me. Like that song I literally just played. I don't care if you're a good guy.
Yeah.
I wrote that song at the retreat. I had a downtime, a little bit of downtime, and I was just thinking about the workshop I had just done, and I wrote that song there. I started writing. It's like inspiring for me. I need that time too.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah. No, that's, and every twice a month, first and third Wednesdays, I host open mic for songwriters. And
cool.
people get up and do one. If it's slow night, they might do 2 songs, right? And it's all ages and all styles and all abilities, you know. And even those, like you said, you can't sing their way out of a wet paper bag, right?
Yeah.
You know? But then out comes this line or this concept, this stuff that goes, holy Jesus, where did that come from?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's like, oh man, that's great.
One of the veteran retreats I did, this guy had never written a song. He was a veteran. He had struggled with PTSD, and I didn't write with him, but the line he came up with, he had never written a song. It was, you know, he's getting up there singing kind of, but not really, and he sings, "They train you like a dog, only how to fight, then let you loose in the world and tell you not to bite." I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, like he had never written the song before. I was like, oh my God. Like I told him, I was like, did you write that line? That's like the most unbelievable line I've ever heard. I mean, sorry, I could talk your ear off forever.
No, that's good. That's
one of the songs I love writing with the veterans because they're so, like I wrote with this guy, Rich, last summer, who he's so great. And the whole time he was like, I don't write songs. Like, I'm a numbers guy. I'm not a creative type, the whole thing, you know?
Yeah.
And we ended up talking and just talking forever. And we wrote this song that's like a letter to himself before he enlisted at 18. And what would he say to himself? And the whole time he's like, just giving out these like beautiful nuggets of poetry, you know, like I love hiking, you know? And I said, well, why do you like hiking? Well, you know, sometimes when I get to the top of the mountain, it's like I look over and the whole world's new again. I was like, oh,
there you go.
So great. You know, we had to just that constantly. And the whole time he's going like, what the hell am I doing? I don't do this. And we got to the end of the song and he was like, I can't believe you wrote that. And I was like, you wrote that.
Right? I just pulled that shit out of you and put it on a piece of paper, right?
Yeah. But it was like it was all his words. It was all his words, you know. What a great guy.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah.
When all the world is a hopeless jumble and the raindrops tumble all around, heaven opens a magic lane. When all the clouds darken up the skyway, there's a rainbow highway to be found. Leading from your window pane to a place beyond the sun. Just a step beyond the rain, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream, they really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles roll way above the chimney top. That's where you find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, birds fly over the rainbow, wide and wide and high. If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh why can't I?
I really appreciate your time.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm glad we could make it work, yeah, because
Yeah,
my
and I
January
appreciate
gets
your
kind of
music.
crazy
Good.
after this,
Yeah.
so
Oh, is it good? Good.
yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So I'm glad we could make it work.